I'm Brian Barnhart, voice of the Fighting Illini, here every Illinois men's basketball game on WLS AM 890. Now back to WLS's best three-point shooter, Steve Cochran.
It's not a tough competition.
Wait, what?
No. Oh, yeah. They call
Brian's
me
a good guy.
They call me the Caitlin Clark of Cumulus.
Oh, is that what we call you?
Iowa.
Sure.
Iowa won last night, by the way. The women won going away
What
at
a
the end of the Final Four.
fantastic game.
Deon Thomas Brian Barnhart, the voices of Illini basketball, standing by. Boys, before we begin, I did want to note the Cubs win yesterday, but if there's a piece of video everybody needs to see today, it's the worst fireworks display to start a season ever.
Oh, yeah.
As the Cubs were introduced running out of the dugout, and the 4 fireworks cannons that were supposed to shoot while the players ran between them sounded like this.
It looked like little sparklers, the kind that you hold.
Like a 7-year-old would hold little sparklers. Yeah. So I'm sure there's a meeting at Wrigley today. Andrea, say hi to Brian and Deon.
Brian and Deon, best broadcast team in the nation. You guys are the best. Brian, why don't we start with you? Even though it was a very, very difficult game to watch on Saturday, this has been an incredible season. Brian, I mean, we haven't been this far since 2005. Coach Underwood is an incredible leader. What are your thoughts on this season?
Well, good morning to you guys, and great to be on with you and Deon here coming up. But, yeah, that was 19 years is a long time since we were out at Allstate Arena in that game with Arizona and the Final Four in St. Louis. And so there were some years there we didn't make the tournament at all. And so Brad Underwood has really elevated things to where now, hey, let's do this on a more regular basis. But, man, the last 3 weeks, and I know Deon can say the same thing, it's just been an absolute blast. The run in Minneapolis, the come-from-behind wins, all 3 of those, to win the Big Ten tournament, and then rolling to a couple of wins in Omaha, and then the win over Iowa State, who was a really good team, champions of the Big 12 tournament.
Yep.
And then with UConn, people had told me all year, guys, that UConn is really good. I had seen, of course, more of Purdue than as you would expect, but they're really good. And Illinois was just a little off, and then UConn just took over the game. So, but it really didn't dampen anything. I thought just a fabulous season, and such a blast to be a part of it again.
Yep, and we're already itching for next year. Hey, Deon, welcome. Good morning. And let me ask you a question from a player's perspective, because here's what I thought I saw. UConn is just a bulldozer. They're unbelievable. And as the run goes on, I don't care if you're 22 or 42 and you've been in the NBA for 15 or 20 years, if that moment sets in where you start to get desperate and you're throwing up prayers from everywhere and you're just trying to catch up all at once, you just dig a hole deeper. And that's kind of what it felt like.
Well, first and foremost, good morning to you guys. As you know, I love being on with both of you.
Thank you.
And
Thanks, Deon.
we needed your 3-point shooting.
No question.
Yeah.
No, to my cohort, Brian, of course, I love you. No, you're 100% right, Steve. We have a saying where we say there's not a 20-point basket or a 10-point basket, that you really have to chip away at things. And when you're playing against a team like UConn, a team of that level, of that caliber, you cannot go in and rush and take bad shots. You really have to value each possession, because if you do and you take bad shots and they get quick rebounds, you see what can happen. They'll steamroll you, and they'll steamroll you quickly. And that's really what happened to Illinois. Couldn't find an answer. I think the guys may have also been a little tired after, a long Big Ten tournament run, and then just a dogfight against Iowa State. And it may have been just a little, legs a little weary, because, UConn blows everybody out. So then their guys get to sit down and reserve some of that energy. But, yeah, tough loss. Lost to a great team, possible NCAA champions. We'll see what happens.
Well, it just makes you want to get to next year even faster.
Yeah.
Oh, it really does. It really does. And, as soon as we were done, I was like, man, Brian, we're finished, but I'll see you soon.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it comes around so quickly again, and I am looking forward to it. You heard Brian mention with the job that Coach Underwood and his staff has
100%.
done. And, we no longer have to rebuild we retool and we add players in the positions that we need. And so I expect nothing but the best in those guys doing that same thing again.
Now, as you said, Deon, this is now where we look ahead. While this was a really good run, Big Ten champions, we're going to look ahead now to next year. Losing Shannon, losing Hawkins, possibly now Dane Deja, who has declared or said he's going to enter the draft or the portal, whatever it might be. Looking ahead, these voids that we have to fill, what are we going to be looking for? What do we need?
Well, we need multiple positions. As you see, we've already started bringing in another shooter. The kid is transferring out of Mercer. Great shooter, great size at 6'6", 6'7". I would believe we'll have Luke Goody back, even though he's going to graduate with his degree in business. He does have more time. We could possibly, depending on what the NCAA does, possibly have Marcus Damask back. Of course, and then we have the freshmen, Gibbs Lawhorn, as well as Amani Hansberry. So we have some good things in place, some really good players, and I think a solid base along with Ty Rogers. So we're going to need, I think, more size on the interior. I think that was proven in the game against UConn. Dane, I'm going to hate to see him go. I love the kid. I love the person. I love the player. But we need someone. I don't know if you guys remember, in my opinion, Omar Payne, a long, active, athletic kid. Well, I think we need something similar to that. That way we can play faster. And as Coach Underwood loves to have skilled guys, if we can get someone, and I don't know if we'll be able to get a Coleman Hawkins, he was so much to his program, but someone similar. Like that.
It sounds like everything you're saying. There's a phenomenal core to work with here.
Yeah.
And,
sure.
You got to go through this every year where you're going to have to fill some holes, but we got the right guy at the top of the flow chart here to figure it out. All right, opinion from both of you. The obvious mismatch here on the Final Four stacks up for a Purdue-Connecticut final. I'm sorry, Andre just threw up in her mouth a little bit by me mentioning
it's
Purdue.
Okay. We all, I think, can say go Big Ten.
Yeah.
Exactly. We're Big Ten in now.
Right.
Can Purdue beat Connecticut if that's the way it goes, Brian?
Well, yeah, I think they can. Edey is just a whole different force on his own. Klingon is a big guy at 7'2", but he's a different player than Edey is, and they've got the outside shooters. With Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer, and that was the biggest difference you saw this year. Purdue a year ago losing in the first round to now is that their other guys improved to the point that they're really deadly from outside. And so it's a good inside-outside game. Again, as Deon, against UConn, you got to make your shots. You got to score, and you're going to have to keep scoring. And I think Purdue has that ability and then his presence around the basket. That's going to be a matchup of titans in there, if you will, with Edey and Klingon, because one's 7'4", 300, the other's like 7'2", 280. So how they handle that, and Deon can probably explain how the big man matchup might go better than I can. But I just find it a fascinating matchup. And yes, I think they can. But people had told me all year how good UConn was, and I saw it firsthand. So I think it's be a great matchup if they get that far.
Yeah, Brian's going to have post-traumatic husky syndrome for a couple of weeks.
All right,
so,
if I don't see them again. So.
Yeah, me too, Brian.
All right, let's go around the horn here, starting with Nick Gale. Let's assume this is going to be a Monday night UConn-Purdue final. Who you got, Nick?
Purdue.
Andrea?
Yeah, Purdue.
Brian?
Purdue.
Deon?
That's actually a tough one, but I'm going to ride with the Big Ten. and Zach Edey and say Purdue, and I think Lance Jones and Mason Gillis are the two X factors in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Hurley looks like he's got to get back to H&R Block and do more tax returns.
Yeah.
Nobody would ever look more like an accountant. No, Connecticut's too good. I got Connecticut, so I hope you guys are right for the Big Ten. Gentlemen, it was a pleasure all season long. Nobody better than you two, as Andrea said, and thank you for the great work. We look forward to more.
Well, we love being on with you guys and appreciate WLS and all you guys do for us. It's a great affiliate up here in Chicago. So it's been an awesome year, and we look forward to more.
Thank you both.
We
and-
love you guys. And Leanne and Ray are both thrilled that they get you guys home now for a little while.
Well,
anyway.
you're assuming. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it was good to be in our own
Right.
space. So.
Yeah. And,
Give them a
and,
few weeks.
and Brian, call us when your voice changes. It's Orion Samuelson on line 2 going, boy, that guy's got a voice.
Beautiful.
Thank you, buddy.